obviously invited, so call me back. Okay, I love you. Bye.
What's up, you guys, and welcome back to Emotionally Online, the show for spilling guts and sharing secrets, hosted by yours truly, the one and only Maddie Drospick, and co-hosted by the one and only Mango, the gooey girl. Say what's up, Mango. She's already leaving. She's quitting her job, acting like she's on vacation, and you know what? She kind of is. She makes the rules. I just abide by them. Hi, I'm 27 now. I'm back. You may notice something's different about me. 1 year older, 1 year wiser, boobs 1 year bigger. Don't have definitive statistics on that, but Mango's copping a feel. Don't have definitive statistics on that, but I would venture to say that it's probably true. I'm not going to put it past them. Feeling good, feeling hot, feeling sexy. I love the number 27. 27, I've been saying this to my friends, is the first number that I'm like, ooh, she's 27. Nobody's asked me how old I am yet. Like, you know, like you go to a restaurant on your birthday and the waiter's like, oh, happy birthday. How old are you? Nobody asked me how old I was. So I haven't even been able to tell somebody, oh, I'm 27. Like, I feel like I need people to ask me how old I am, because otherwise I'm going to forget. All of a sudden it's going to be like several months until somebody asks me how old I am. It'll be like the middle of July and somebody finally is like, how old are you? And I have to think for a second and be like, oh, right, 27, because I just haven't said it out loud yet. Anyways, I wish people would ask me how old I am, because I am so excited to say I'm 27. I don't know what it is about that number. I think it's just because when I was growing up, my cousins and a lot of the people that I looked up to and thought were like the coolest people ever were like 27, 28, 29. So there's something about like 27 that I'm like, ooh, this is like a fun, sexy number, and I kind of love it. I love getting older. I do not understand the fear of getting older. Turning 30 sounds so sexy and exciting to me. I don't understand the big deal. But right now I'm excited about 27. And I had the best birthday ever. It was lovely and wonderful. I did the same thing this year that I did last year. Went to the spa all day long, 9:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then popped on over to my favorite Italian restaurant, Da Toscano. It's near the West 4th stop over by the IFC Center. It is delicious. All right. It is the best Italian food that I've had in the 8, almost 9 years I've lived in New York, which that in itself is crazy town, USA. So good. Had just the best dinner ever with some of my friends. And then this weekend I'm hosting a little game night. I bought myself the cuntiest birthday cake I could have ever possibly bought myself. It is a heart-shaped cake, purple, obviously. Obviously, what color birthday cake am I going to get? It is a lemon cake with berry buttercream, and it's going to say Lover Girls Worldwide on the top of it. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So I'm going to have my beautiful, perfect little cake. My game night is, of course, slumber party themed, as always. So I told all of my friends, holding you at gunpoint, show up to my apartment in pajamas, sweatsets, comfy clothes, or I will pull out a gun and shoot you point blank in this apartment. Okay, I need all of you to be comfy. If any of you walk in here in jeans, we're going to have a fucking issue, okay? Nobody wears jeans to my slumber party. Except none of you are allowed to sleep over either. Go slumber at your own homes. But we'll cosplay a slumber party here for a little bit. Play some games. I've been saying that I wanted to do a Maddie trivia night for my birthday for a while. And obviously I'm not doing like a big trivia thing. I just have a few. All of my trivia friends are coming over for game night. This is who I invited for game night. Come on. I'm looking for people that like to play games. My trivia friends are the people to go to. So my trivia friends are coming over, and I've said that I wanted to do like a Maddie trivia night, not trivia about me, but trivia that I deem important. So I was like, I started brainstorming questions for this back in like October. I'll read out some to you that I know I'm not going to use, only because I feel like when I came up with this idea, I was trying to explain it to my friends, and definitely have talked about some of these things like multiple times. So I feel like I've just been educating them too much, so I can't use this question anymore. The first question I have written here in my general trivia round 1 category, internet lore. The question is, in 2012, Giovanna Plowman generated quick internet fame for taking out her tampon and sucking on it on camera while what song by a controversial artist was playing in the background? I will give you 10 seconds to come up with the answer to this question, which to me, this is a very important question. This is trivia that I think everyone should know. All right? This is important. This is history. I believe in the preservation of internet drama, the internet moments that built us all. Who could forget Giovanna Plowman sucking on her tampon on video? Did you get it? Do you know what song was playing in the background of that video, of that iconic video that shook the nation? If you guessed 212 by Azalea Banks, you would be correct, mama. These are the kind of questions I want to ask. I have, what other ones do I have on here that I could tell? I might use some of these. Okay, here's another one. Another 2012 one. This one feels like a softball, though. Throwing up was the goal in this 2012 internet challenge where participants would indulge what in large quantities? The answer is, of course, the 3-liter milk challenge. Come on now. I know some of you guys were around back in the Australian prankster days. Those who we don't say by name on this podcast days. The Janoskians. We don't talk about them now because I'm horrified and embarrassed that I was like a diehard fan of a prank group when I was in high school. But, you know, you live and you learn. You live and you laugh and you learn. Honestly, you live and you laugh and you love and you learn, and you stop being fans of hot boys who play pranks. You grow past that era, okay? 14, 15, 6-year-old Maddie, listen, we were deep in that, okay? We were watching hot boys throw up on the internet like, he's so hot for that. I can't explain it to you. It was 2012. We thought the world was going to end. I thought that I had so little time left, okay? Any of my, like, preferences pre-2012, like, don't listen to them. I thought we were dire conditions back then. I thought I had to the end of the year to live. Although I do think that I was probably a fan past that point, but that's none of your business. What a horrible time. Anyways, those are some examples of questions that I had written here. I'm not going to use either of those, but I'll probably use some of the other ones that I have written here. I want to do a music round. The theme of said music round, I wanted to be 2008 to 2012 music video YouTube bangers, which, for those of you that don't know, for those of you that are new to the Maddie Drossbeck cinematic universe, the emotionally online cinematic universe, what has predated this present day cinematic universe was I started YouTube. My YouTube journey, my YouTube career was started by making music videos. That was when I first started my channel. The first 3 years, all I did was make those silly little jump cut music videos. And we were living, laughing, and loving, as we've talked about, as referenced earlier. And it was just the best time ever. And the music that we use in those music videos, it's like a you had to be there sort of thing. If you were there and you know it and you feel it and you know the vibes, then you know the vibes. And if you weren't there, I'm so sorry to tell you, you missed out. Because those were the golden days of YouTube, was the music video YouTube era. I'll say it, and it's the truth. So that would be huge. I don't know. This game night is literally tomorrow. The day you are listening to this episode is the day that I am hosting my friends for this game night, and I have done nothing to prepare for this potential trivia match that I am going to lead. But we'll see what happens. We'll see. I'm going to spring out of bed tomorrow morning, and I'm going to create this match to force my friends to play for my birthday, because it's the one day of the year that everybody just does what I want to do. Everyone says, whatever Maddie wants, we should do. And we give Maddie attention and love, and we play all the games that Maddie wants to play. But also, Maddie has good taste in games, so don't even worry about it, because you're all going to have a fantastic time. All right? So I'm excited to keep the celebrations rolling, keep it going over here. We've got the Oscars on Sunday. Pretty excited about that. Also hosting an Oscars watch party, so we're doing a lot of hosting this week. Also might be competing in the winter season trivia finale championship game. I know, I'm a fucking dork. But here's the thing, is that I won't change for anybody. And I love playing trivia more than anything else on the face of the planet. So we play in the New York City Trivia League. There's hundreds of teams that play. We're pretty good. The lads on tour, we kind of slay, I'll be honest. And the top 70 teams make it to the winter championship game. We officially finished the season in 73rd, a 2-point difference from the people in 70th. So we were so close, but obviously we didn't make the cut. However, there's still a way we can play in the championship, and it is if there are teams that can't show up to play, they will open the door to the people in like 70th to 100th to fill in those spots. So we're number 3 on the wait list. So it's very possible that on Sunday we will be competing in the winter championship for the New York City Trivia League. Would be huge for us. Fingers crossed we get off the wait list, because that would be the first time we ever qualified for the championship game, and it would just be the most fun ever. So fingers crossed for the lads. We've got an action-packed weekend going on. Also, did you notice how tan and gorgeous I am? Actually, I don't know if I'm that tan. I think I'm tan. Obviously, I was in St. Thomas the last time I recorded the podcast. I did it like a week before the episode came out, so I actually haven't sat down and talked for like 2 weeks. I was in St. Thomas with my family, which was a nice little break from life, just to spend time with my parents, my grandparents, my brothers. When I was flying there, I had a connecting flight. I flew from JFK to San Juan, and then I was going to fly from San Juan to St. Thomas. San Juan and St. Thomas are very close to each other, so it was like a 30-minute flight. Figure I would just, fly down to San Juan, connect on over. Easy little connection, easy little flight. I was not prepared or made aware of the fact that my flight from San Juan to St. Thomas was going to be on a DIY Lego puddle jumper. Okay, this was the tiniest fucking plane I have ever seen in my life. I am not kidding. There's 6 seats on this plane. You were sitting next to the pilot, mama. I could see everything he was doing. He turned around in his seat. It was like we were in a car. We were basically in a minivan. This plane was a minivan. It was a minivan that flies, and they just threw me in there, and they were like, Godspeed and good luck. And I was like, hello? I didn't know that I was booked on this kind of plane. I am terrified. I'm fucking so scared right now. My brother flew with me from JFK to San Juan, and then so we get on this fucking connecting flight together, and he's looking at me, and I'm looking at him, and he's like, oh my God, what the fuck? It's literally just me and my brother, a couple, and the pilot. There's 5 of us in this fucking plane total. The pilot turns around like he's in the fucking driver's seat, and we're his children in the back. All right. I have never been so scared in my entire life. I was terrified. Takeoff and landing in that thing, I was counting my days. Okay, I was saying my prayers. Once I'm up in the air and I'm gliding and I can put on my music, that is one thing. But taking off and landing in that tiny little plane, I've never been in anything like that in my life, especially like without warning. The rest of my family, when we were leaving, they had a direct flight out of St. Thomas. So they went straight from St. Thomas. They were flying to Boston. I had to take the DIY Lego puddle jumper back from St. Thomas to San Juan. So I had to do it again on the way back. Thank God by that point, Von Dutch by Charlie XCX had been released. So I could calm myself down by listening to what we know now is the song of the year, Von Dutch. Okay, so if you ever find yourself on a paper airplane that's just been crafted in the back of an airport that morning and strung together with paper clips and, safety pins, if you ever find yourself in that position, just throw on Von Dutch and then put your hands underneath your seat all the way so it acts as like like a human seat belt. That's what I was doing as I was inside my brain like, If I go out, I'm going out listening to Von Dutch, baby. I'm going to bust through the ceiling of this fucking airplane. I'm just living that life, Von Dutch, classic, but it's still pop. And I'm just going to fall down into the ocean, and I'm going to smack the surface, and that'll be it for me. But at least I went out doing what I loved, listening to Von Dutch by Charlie XCX. Can I say something morbid? I'm just going to say it. I'm going to put it out there, and we're going to let it sit there, and we're just going to look at it. All right. So as I was on this DIY Lego airplane, I was thinking to myself how horrible it would be as I'm, counting the minutes left in my life, thinking that this airplane could go down at any minute. As I am running the numbers there, I'm thinking to myself, it is going to be so painful for all of my relatives and close friends when my scheduled Instagram posts start going live from the afterlife. It's going to be so awful a few days from now when everyone's at my funeral giving the fucking eulogy, and then all of a sudden they get a ding. Maddie drops by because they just posted a new Instagram post, and the caption is like, happy 27th birthday to me. This year I learned to love hard and take risks. And everyone's like, fuck this bitch and her fucking scheduled Instagram posts. Oh, influencers should never die. Don't worry, baby. I'm going to influence you from the afterlife. Don't worry. I'm just grinding from the afterlife. On my scheduled Instagram posts, got to get those bitches live, mama. We've got things to share. We've got people to talk about. I mean, realistically, that's happened to somebody at some point. Somebody's for sure done that before. And it'll probably happen again. And really, that could be something that ends up happening a lot, now that we are going deeper into the era of social media and everyone sharing their lives online. The amount of cued podcasts, cued YouTube videos, cued Instagram posts we're going to get in the afterlife, how painful. It's like the same way as like there's always going to be dirty laundry to clean when someone dies. When you die, you will always have laundry to wash. And that's so like intimate and like painful and heavy for your relatives to have like do your laundry after you've passed. Your scheduled Instagram post is probably not as heavy as that, but it's giving me the same energy. After you die, the dirty laundry. After you die, the scheduled Instagram posts. Like, these are just things that you think about when you're planning on going down in a Lego airplane. Have you guys seen that video of that little girl who her sister's trying to borrow like a red crayon from her, and the older sister is like, how do you ask for that nicely? And she's like, please, can I borrow the red crayon? And she gets the little sister to say it all nice and polite after she like dictates her on how to say it correctly. And the little sister's finally like, can I please borrow the red crayon? And the older sister looks at her and goes, no, you may not. I've been thinking about that video all fucking week because I saw it and I was like, oh, that's literally so fucking me. That is so fucking me. It hurts. And I love her so much. And I don't even want kids, but if I did have a kid, that's the kid I want. I want the fucking kid that's day one. This bitch is 7 years old. Her sister's like, can I have the red crayon? She's like, what do you say? Can I please, 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 please have the red crayon? Say it, full sentence, punctuated properly. Stand there. Respect your older sister. And then the little girl does it. She's like, no, you may not. Queen. That's a boss if I ever seen one, mama. I trust her with my life. That's my lawyer. That's my doctor. That's my fucking captain. She's driving the plane. She's driving the bus. I don't care. She can do everything. I listen to whatever she tells me to do. She says, do this. I said, for sure, for sure. So I sent it to my mom. I absolutely behaved like that as a child. That is me and my fucking sister. I was that bitch. I love her. I don't want children. If I had kids, this is who I want. That's a queen, mama. That's a boss. That's an entrepreneur. That's a businesswoman. Okay? She said, these crayons, I only got a few colors, okay? And we've got to keep them in line. We've got to keep them tip-top shape. And we also got to make sure our customers respect us. We do not serve just anyone. You do not come up into my crayon shop and say, give me the red crayon. Oh, that is not how you speak to your older sister. You will respect me, mama. Oh, I love her. I love her. And I sent it to my mom literally 4 days ago. Sent it to my mom and she just responded and said, so you. And I was like, pff. And I knew you were going to say that. I knew you would agree with me, Mom. Anyways, that was just me getting distracted because my mom finally responded to me sending her that video. I had such a healing and relieving conversation with my friends over dinner the other night. We were doing our little accountability group meeting where, you know, this month I showed up to accountability like, guys, with peace and love, I set out at the beginning of this month to achieve some goals. We had some things that I wanted to do this month, some, you know, ideas that I wanted to put into motion. And there are some things that I did, you know, a few, but most of my goals for the last month, I didn't even make a fucking dent in, because to be completely honest with you, I have been in emotional distress. I've been having a month. All right. So I didn't get as much done as I would like. And that's just part of life. And I'm not going to make myself feel bad for not achieving my goals when I'm having a hard time. We're going to give myself grace. And I was like, this next month, March, my goals are going back to basics. Okay. We're going back to the lowest level shit that I could accomplish. We're going back to having the goal be like, have a routine in the morning. When I wake up, don't be on your phone. Wake up and take a shower, make your bed, make yourself breakfast and coffee and whatever else. We're going back to like, that is the goal, is just to have a routine and stick to it. And these basic tasks that I just need to do, those are the goals this month. We're not doing anything crazy. We need to reset, be nice, and just, you know, do what we can. So this is what we were talking about at the table, and everyone was sort of echoing similar sentiments, similar learnings. And the topic of like these cleaning TikToks came up, or cleaning these Instagram reels, wherever you watch these little cleaning videos of these people that deep clean their apartments what feels like every fucking day. And I feel like when you're in that state where mentally you're like, oh my God, I need to go back to basics. Like, even making my bed is like a task that I need a reward for right now. I need to be pat on the fucking back for doing little things, because I am just going through it and we need to not push it. When you're going through it and you have to go back to that level, seeing these people on the internet that are doing these like elaborate Sunday reset cleaning routines is like, oh my God, that fills me with so much dread, because I'm like, there's just no way that that's happening right now. I'm a pretty neat and tidy person. These people on fucking TikTok and Instagram with some of these cleaning videos are like achieving levels of like emotional and mental security that I have never experienced in my life. The amount of like mental security I would have to indulge in the level of cleaning that they're indulging in is beyond me. I watched a video. I was like, literally, I need to tell my friends about this, because I need them to look at me and be like, no, bitch, you're not crazy. Like, I don't do that shit either. I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw a video of someone where they're doing their little reset, and they were talking about laundering their pillows. And I was like, laundering your pillows? Not the cases, your pillows, laundering your pillows. And I was like looking around and I was like, oh my God. I don't think I've ever done that in my life. I'll be so real and honest with you. I don't think I've ever done that in my fucking life. The pillows on my bed right now, I've got four like sleep pillows, not throw pillows, 4 sleep pillows, 2 of which I bought this year. The other 2 I've had since I was in middle school. And I am telling you right now, when I wash them, I wash the cases. I am never throwing those pillows in the fucking wash. I had no idea that people did that. I was like, oh my God, was I supposed to be doing that? I was mortified. I was like, holy shit. And then I talked to my friends. I was like, even making my bed is difficult right now. And I just learned that I was supposed to be laundering the fucking pillows. I just learned that all this time I was supposed to be laundering the pillows themselves. I've never done that. I've never fucking done that. Nobody told me I was supposed to be fucking doing that. And then we had a wonderful conversation where all my friends and we talked about all of the like little gross things that we do, or like the things that we're supposed to do that we totally don't do. And it was such a relief to me to have that conversation, because I feel like, I don't know, being an adult and having your own apartment and like all these chores and tasks you have to do on a weekly basis, and then going on the internet and seeing all these people seemingly do it all perfectly, do all their chores, do all their tasks with like no issues getting any of them completed, with their perfect, sparkly clean houses all the time. It is such a relief to look at your friends and be like, y'all weren't doing that either, right? And they're all like, no, bitch, I was not doing that either. And be like, oh, thank God. Thank God. There are other people that are like, no, listen, mama, I'm just focusing on making my bed in the morning and we'll see what happens after that. Like, some of these people on Instagram are living lives that I know nothing about. And they do their deep cleans every Sunday, and they clean in ways that I dream of, and I wish so badly that I could have the mental state that you possess to do such a deep clean. All right, I'm an organized girl. I'm pretty clean. For all things considered, I am pretty fucking good at keeping my place in line, organized at the very least. Oh my God, but y'all bitches make me feel like I am not doing nearly enough. Learning there were people out there that were laundering their pillows. I literally, I'm not kidding, I had to pause that video because I was like, I was like, I've never done that. I've never fucking done that. I've never thrown the pillow itself in the wash. I didn't know I was supposed to. Oh my God. And all these people on Instagram are doing it every fucking week. They're doing it every week. I had no idea. And making my bed is hard right now. Okay. So what the fuck? So it was nice to sit and have a conversation with my friends where we all looked at each other. We were like, so just to be clear, just be so clear right now, you bitches aren't doing that either, right? Like, you guys are struggling to do things like this too, right? And we were all like, oh, you're thinking about this? Well, here's this gross thing that I do. Here's this thing that I'm not doing perfectly. This thing that I'm supposed to do as an adult at this age to keep up with my home and this whatever that I'm not fucking doing. And I was like, oh, what a relief. What a relief to talk to my friends and realize that we all do things that we're like, yeah, I'm probably supposed to do this, but I don't. Because I am simply one girl and I can't do it all. I don't know. This was perplexing to me. I'll be so vulnerable with you right now in saying that upon learning that people are laundering their pillows and that I was supposed to be laundering the pillow itself and not just the case. Upon learning this, I don't even know that I'm going to put a lot of effort into laundering them regularly. I'll be so real with you. I've had those pillows since middle school and I've never once washed them. What's the difference? What's the fucking difference? I've had them for 15 years. This is why I was having a meltdown when I saw that fucking TikTok. I was like, oh my God, I just had such a shitty month, having a hard time doing any of my tasks, completing any of my goals. I just learned that I have spent the last 15 years not washing these fucking pillows because I thought I was just supposed to wash the case. No one told me I was supposed to wash the pillow itself. And now it just feels like it's too late. It's like, what's the point? What's the fucking point of washing these pillows after 15 years? I've been fine up until this point. It's just a formality. It's just to satisfy these people that are like, that's fucking gross. I didn't know, bitch. I didn't fucking know. Oh my God. Also, all those people that are like on their high horse pretending like their shit don't stink and everything in their house is perfect and they do all their tasks and they never have anything out of place or like anything a little bad or weird or something that they didn't know they were supposed to do or something they know they're supposed to do but they still don't do it. People that act like they don't have things like that, you annoy me. So if you already left a comment with that energy, just thought I'd add that in there so you know that I think you're annoying. What a relief it is to have friends that will look at you and be like, bitch, I wasn't laundering my pillows either. I had no ya. Listen, bitch, it's also been hard for me to make my bed. Don't you worry. I'm right there with ya. So if you needed that reminder today, I'm right there fucking with ya. But I don't know. Sometimes I watch those cleaning videos and I'm like, do you really though? Like, do you really do this every Sunday? If you weren't recording it, would you do it like this perfectly every Sunday on a ritual, never breaking it? Like, would you? I mean, if you are that person, then like I love that for you deeply, honestly, and truly. And you're so perfect. And the rest of us just aren't fucking worthy. But there's some part of me that's like, there's no way you don't have a little dust in the corner, bitch. There's no way there's not a little bunny collecting underneath your bed. All right? I don't believe you. But who am I? Maybe I'm just a fucking hater. Since I've discovered that I needed to launder my fucking pillows. 15 years. I can't. Let's open up the conversation here. Let's invite you guys in. Let's dive into our submission box for the show to see what's going on with you guys this week. Hi, Maddie. I love your podcast. You really changed the way I express my feelings and needs. I have a question of sexual nature that's been bothering me. Being chronically online, lurking on Reddit, I've always seen statements like men hate giving oral. And when my first boyfriend ended up liking it, I thought he was a keeper sent from heaven just because of that. Since then, I have been with a couple of men, and the majority of them were eager to give oral sex and claimed it turned them on. I have this dissonance about what I read online and experience myself that makes me wonder if our generation is more open, or did I just get lucky? I actually think that this question brings up something interesting about, like, the internet and how we consume it and perceive like the things that we're indulging in on the internet to be like the majority or minority opinion on things. Like, I think all the time about how I might see like a certain opinion pop up on my feeds like maybe like 2 or 3 times. So not a lot when we're thinking about this, you know, big picture. But it's not only am I seeing this opinion pop up on my feeds like 3 times, but in those 3 times, I'm also witnessing those posts have like 10,000 likes, 100,000 views, 20,000 comments, and maybe some of those comments are people being like, this is fucking stupid and ridiculous and this is a dumb take. But I feel like our brains almost just like see this is a popular piece of content that tens of thousands of people are interacting with. And I've just now seen like 2 other pieces of content with similar kinds of engagement and numbers. It's hard for it not to feel like a larger issue or to be like, oh my God, this is the majority. This has to be like a larger issue than I think it is. I think especially when it depends on what communities you're lurking in and like what corners of the internet you're involved in, because yes, a number like 10,000 is a lot of people, but in the grand scheme of things, it's really not. There are so many people in this world, and you might not know a single one of the people that interacted with that piece of content. You might never in your lifetime come across even one of the 10,000 people that liked that video. You know what I mean? So I think that sometimes when we are consuming content on social media, it's hard for our brains to like effectively sort out what is a majority opinion and what isn't. I do this too. I mean, there are definitely things that will like pop up all over my social media feed. I'll get so fired up about it and I'll talk to my friends about it and they'll be like, I've never heard of this before in my life. And I'll be like, damn, I spent all afternoon pissed about this thing that I saw on TikTok and talked to a bunch of people I know in real life about it, and nobody has ever heard of this. I don't know. Content that gets people fired up and that is like controversial and will have a range of opinions just gets pushed more in these algorithms, gets higher engagement. So I think a lot of times these like really polarizing opinions get thrown to the front pages of our algorithms on any given platform, and we start to believe they're more common than they really actually are, when in reality this is being pushed to our feeds not because it's the majority opinion or because it's even that common, but because it's polarizing opinion and it gets the people going. So I don't know. Obviously, blanket statements like men hate giving oral aren't true. Obviously, there are some men out there that hate giving oral the same way there are some women out there that hate giving oral and would vocally say that. I think we probably hear of more men being like, I hate giving oral, because there's just like a lot of misogyny in the world, and there's a lot of weirdo men making content on the internet that's like, vaginas are gross. I literally would never fucking eat a woman out, but you can suck me off though. Like, there's losers everywhere, unfortunately, and a lot of them love to make content on the internet for some reason. I actually was giggling and laughing so much a few weeks ago when the I don't know if any of you guys watched the H3 podcast, but they were reviewing a podcast clip several years old at this point, from Jesse Lee Peterson, who is like a conservative radio host with like the shittiest opinions that you can possibly think up. And they were reacting to this podcast clip where he was saying that he had no idea that regular people were giving and receiving oral. He thought that only sluts did that. And he was like, it's such an absurd clip. I'll add a portion of it here.
You know how we were talking about oral sex on the radio? And I was saying that men should not be doing that because it's like eating out of a trash can. The lady said that to help women, I need to mention that a lot of women are now doing oral sex to men.
To correct you, it's not now doing. This is not now doing. This has been around for a
while.
long time.
Oh, and so I was
Not new.
And so I asked the ladies, were there men and women that knew about this, and I was stunned at the answer. I thought it was like a slut thing.
It is.
There's a lot of sluts out there, Jesse.
It's so gross.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to ask you guys, have you ever had that done? But isn't that gross for a woman to do that to a man?
I don't know how you trust them.
No, the man could be diseased, could just finish with another woman.
And this clip had me hee-heeing and haw-hawing, okay? The fact that there are genuinely people out there in the world that are like, that is nasty and disgusting and blasphemous and like, how dare you? But you know what? The one, like, point of grace I will give the men in this conversation, despite me thinking they are like the biggest losers on the face of the planet, is at least they're consistent in their viewpoint with men and women. They're like, blowjobs are nasty and eating pussy is nasty. At least it's consistent, because I think it's way worse when you look at the people that are like, yeah, you have to blow me, but I'm not going to eat you out. Or like, you're going to have to beg me to eat you out, but I expect you to blow me every time we're together. I think about being in a relationship with someone like that, or even hooking up with someone like that, and I'm just like, oh my God, I want to collapse. I want to collapse. Oral is the most important part of sex to me, completely. I've said this before, and I just think that people who are selfish about oral are the worst people to have sex with. The worst sexual partners are people who expect you to do things that they won't do themselves. That is what I believe. So people that are like, yeah, you can blow me, but I'm not going to go down on you. Pfft, eating pussy is gross. Men hate giving oral. Who said that? No one said that. No one said that at all. You're just not going to get pussy at all, my guy, my friend. So, I don't know. I feel like with most blanket statements, it's not going to be true. Obviously, it's going to apply to some people, but for the most part, if it is a man who is attracted to women, respects women, and is excited to be with a woman, he's also going to be excited to give oral and pleasure to said woman. Honestly, it might just be the communities with which you were lurking in. Notoriously, Reddit attracts a certain crowd. So sometimes you just gotta lurk with the knowledge that you might be observing a very specific community that you might not ever interact with in your day-to-day life. I've been sporadically hooking up with this guy for the last few months, and I have a great time with him. However, the issue is that so often after we hook up, he leaves almost immediately after, and it always feels so rushed. I'm left feeling, disappointed. He always says, I hate to have sex and just leave, but and then XYZ list of excuses for why he needs to leave so soon. I enjoy the sex and everything, but when he leaves so soon, I just feel so deflated because I would like to at least cuddle and talk or something for a little while after, like some post-sex care and stuff, if that makes sense. Of course it does, bestie. I've mentioned to him that this bothers me, but haven't gone in depth about it. I'll mainly just say how I don't want him to leave so soon, etc. I feel guilty about wanting this from him because we're not in or actively pursuing a relationship, basically just friends with benefits, and I'm fine with us just hooking up and not dating, but for him to leave so quickly after having sex with me feels kind of disrespectful and always makes me feel some type of way. Am I wrong for wanting this despite not being / wanting to be in a relationship? How should I approach talking to him about this? I am very firm in my belief that we owe keyword owe, keyword all. We owe all of our intimate partners the same level of respect and care, regardless of the level of commitment of the relationship. Just because we are not committed to someone does not mean we do not owe them respect and care and consideration for what makes them the most comfortable when we are being intimate with them. That sounds like such an obvious take, and like it should be like, oh yeah, of course we are supposed to respect and care for all of our intimate partners, regardless of if we are just doing friends with benefits or if we're in a relationship. That feels like it should be the obvious opinion, but it unfortunately isn't. And this is why I get so fired up when I talk about like my previous sexual experiences and when I would hook up a lot in college, because I encountered this type of person all the time that made me feel like I was like a burden for wanting to be cared for a little bit after sex. Like I was too much. That was like too emotional. I was asking for something that was like outside of the realm of what was appropriate for my dynamic. And it really fucked with my head and made me feel like I was crazy. I felt like I was needy. I felt, it just makes you feel shitty when people treat you like this. When in reality, I believe that they are the one that needs to do some internal reflection there. It's not that you're needy and need too much and are asking for something unreasonable. It's that they are not treating you with the proper kind of respect and care that you deserve. I think that everybody, regardless of commitment, deserves to be respected and cared for during sex. And for most of us, for a very large majority of us, that includes sex aftercare. Sex is a very intimate and personal thing that is very emotional for a lot of us. And to pretend that it isn't is ridiculous to me. To me, it feels like it should be so obvious that we should treat each other with that care, but I relate to you completely in that not all of my sexual experiences and sexual partners were so quick to adopt that way of thinking either. So let's start there, because I think that sex aftercare is really important. And I think that we all deserve to have sex aftercare that makes us feel the most comfortable with all of our sexual partners, not just the ones we are in committed long-term relationships with. So that's number one. Number two, you say that you've mentioned to him before that it bothers you, but you haven't gone in depth about it. So this is great. I think that's awesome that you have brought it up before and you've expressed that you do need a little bit more aftercare in order to feel the most comfortable doing something as intimate as sex with someone else. It sounds like it is just time to open up the conversation again and maybe have a harder boundary drawn here where you say to them, I really love this arrangement that we have going on here. I'm enjoying hooking up with you. I think you're awesome. This is super fun. I know I've brought this up before, but I do just want to have a more open dialogue here about sex aftercare and what would make me the most comfortable moving forward in this dynamic. And say point blank, like, if you know that you are not going to have enough time to stick around after we have sex and do a little bit of aftercare with me, then we should not have sex. That, to me, is a mandatory part of this dynamic. I can't at this point have sex without the aftercare, because I just leave feeling pretty deflated and just down. And this is so fun. I would love to keep it fun. I would love to enjoy the sex that I'm having completely and fully. So part of that for me is baking in time to do the aftercare and wind down together afterwards. So if you don't have time for that, then we shouldn't have sex that day. Then we don't have time to have sex at all. We can't do one without the other. We need to do both together. So let's just be mindful of that and just be more intentional about what happens after sex. And that would be great. And I think if this person cares at all about how comfortable you are while hooking up, being intimate with each other, this is going to be an easy, yeah, absolutely, of course. If they care even a little bit, this is going to be a no-brainer for sure. If this is what you need to feel comfortable and keep having great sex with me, then let's fucking do it. It is a very easily achievable thing to ask for. It is not too much. To me, it is the baseline of what we owe each other when we are doing such intimate things with each other. And I get fired up about this stuff because it really does bother me how many like young 20-somethings have been conditioned to believe that it is okay to treat each other so coldly during sex, or that it is a requirement to be so cold with each other in casual dynamics. And that if we are caring and warm and look out for each other's emotional well-being within friends with benefit dynamics, that someone's going to catch feelings and it's going to get crazy and I'll go awry. The idea that we have to be cold and like aloof to each other and walk out immediately after sex in casual dynamics is, I believe, to be actively harmful. And it makes me really upset. So I think that it's a great thing that you have brought it up before. I think it's a great thing that you want to bring it up again. And I think the right person will be totally receptive to hearing that you just want to make sure that you always have time for aftercare during your sexual encounters. And if they don't have time to do the aftercare, they do not have time to do the sex. One cannot exist without the other. And I think that it is perfectly acceptable to just make it really clear that that is how you feel and that is what your boundary is. And they must respect that. And that is where I'm going to wrap up for today's episode, because I have got to go figure out what the fuck I'm doing for this potential trivia game that I'm playing tomorrow night. I don't know. Gonna be crazy. If you guys want to see pictures of my Lover Girls Worldwide cake, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Maddie. I'll try to post it on the podcast account too, at Emotionally Online Pod. Hopefully I will remember to do such things so you guys can see. Thanks so much for hanging out. Love you guys so much, and I will see you in next week's episode. Bye.